I'm a terrorist organization, like, if I don't care about these people I'm using as shields,
I'm
I don't
a
care about
terrorist
all these
organization and I'm trying to maximize civilian casualties to get the world's sympathy, that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you so much. Yes, you're right. Before we get to the video, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification button so you can be notified every time I upload new content. If you'd like to support me and the channel financially, you can do that using Buy Me Coffee or Patreon down in the links below. All right, let's get to the video.
And are you Israeli, Tahar?
Yes.
And what do you think about what's going on, man?
I think it's a war. I think it's a just war, and I think the hostages should be released and Hamas should be dismantled. What do you think?
I think that it has gone to a very bad point here, man. And I think it's gone to a point where a lot of Israelis don't even know what's going on. It's very bad. It's very bad.
What do you mean we don't know what's going on? Explain.
Because of the censorship. Like, I've been on here for a while now, like an hour, and everybody I'm speaking with, they don't even know about some of the news headlines we see and about the journalists that have been killed and about the war crimes that the IDF has committed. It's pretty bad.
Do you think that using civilians as human shields is a war crime?
I do. I'm not for Hamas at all, but I'm saying that any person that is a terrorist, they're not gonna submit themselves to being caught anyways, right?
Well, they should, if they truly care about the suffering of the Palestinians living in Gaza. Don't you think they should surrender to end the suffering?
Yes, but again, I just told you I'm not with Hamas. I'm saying they're a terrorist organization.
That's
right?
fine. That's fine. I'm just trying to understand. Do you want this war to be over?
Yes, I do.
Why does it seem like your point of view or your bias is more against Israel than the Palestinians themselves, who elected Hamas, who cheered Hamas when they did what they did on October 7th, and now they're paying the price for doing what they did? Why don't you go against them? Why don't you call out Hamas?
Because you're putting everybody in the same boat here. You're putting everybody, for example, not all Israelis are very fond of what IDF is doing, but I'm not telling you that
most Israelis are.
Sorry?
Most Israelis are.
Okay, but that's not true, actually, because, or at least Jewish people, not even Israelis, I'll say Jewish people. For example, here I live in Canada, there's a bunch of Jewish protesters all the time.
Beautiful. That's because they're scared of the Muslim community who's kind of radicalized in Canada and wants to spread Sharia.
I don't think you know what's going on here, man, because that's not how it goes here at all. And over here, it's all pretty even in terms of all the religions and all the community. I'm not talking to you about any Arab countries. I'm talking to you about Canada, one of the most free countries in the world.
Canada, again,
we're kind of steering off the point here, though. We're kind of steering off the point. You're talking about Hamas, and we're talking about Hamas, how Hamas is bad. And I'm with you. And if your logic is that, okay, if Hamas is using Palestinians as human shields, we're just going to shoot through everybody and kill everybody.
No, but if that would be the case, we would have had 300, 400, 500,000 dead Palestinians right now. But that's not the case. Because I'm not saying your government is smart. I'm not saying they're dumb. They're pretty smart. They're killing in waves. Because after 2 years of war, where soldiers go door to door, and Hamas knows that, and they booby trap specific buildings because they know soldiers will risk their lives to minimize civilian casualties, people die in war. It's inevitable. In every war, civilians die. And the fact that people don't accept that is bizarre. People don't seem to criticize Sudan. People don't seem to criticize Congo. People don't seem to criticize Syria. People don't seem to criticize Egypt for some of their atrocities against the Copts. People only seem to criticize the Jewish state for defending themselves after the biggest atrocity that happened to the Jews since the Holocaust. That's bizarre to me. That's a double standard that I've never seen anywhere else.
I don't know why we're going away from the question right now. We're talking about, very simply, we're talking about Israel and Palestine. We're talking about this. I'm not denying there are other conflicts in the world. We're talking about Israel and Palestine.
The fake outrage towards the Palestinians, that's what I'm talking about. The fact that you are outraged about the Palestinians, most likely because you're a Muslim, but you don't seem to show any outrage towards the Syrians. 500,000 people who died, 300,000 kids. I don't see any outrage towards that. I don't see any outrage towards the starving civilians in Yemen. Millions of people died in Yemen. I don't see any.
We can talk about everything, but we got to go one by one. We can talk about all these issues.
That's selective outrage, and I disapprove of that. That's selective outrage.
That's not true. I'm not saying those are wrong. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong at all, but I'm saying you can't dodge things by going to a different point. If we're talking about Hamas
that's not dodging anything.
Huh?
That's not dodging
Okay, then
anything.
let's finish what we're talking about. Finish about talking about the IDF and talking about Hamas.
Okay,
Okay,
how
if
many
what you're saying is
civilians?
true,
How
if
many?
what you're saying is true,
How many?
why are IDF killing journalists? Why is there many reported journalists that the IDF? If what you're preaching is true and all this stuff about Hamas is correct, then why kill the journalists? They would be helping your case.
There was a recent journalist that was killed, I think about a week ago. He was a Hamas member.
And what is that? So that means we kill all journalists?
No, it just means that the journalist that you're seeing doesn't necessarily mean that they're journalists if they wear a press vest. They could work for Hamas, just like history has proven.
So we're gonna kill everybody.
Another journalist's father held a hostage captive, Noah Argamani. Is he still a journalist, or is he a military target at the moment? What is he?
So we're gonna kill all journalists. That's the logic.
You don't understand my logic. My logic is that the fact that they have press on their shirts doesn't mean that they're journalists. They could be terrorists in disguise. That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about the proven journalists, the ones, for example, the other one where they stated, the IDF said that we're not going to shoot anybody that has there was like 6 vans that crossed by, and the IDF tried to eliminate the evidence, trying to burn everything. And then there were found tapes recording, and this was all over Twitter. It blew up. It was like, I think it was 4 or 5 months ago. How they had sirens on, and they were proving that they were good, innocent journalism, and they killed everybody.
Were there incidents in Gaza where Hamas used ambulances to transfer fighters or hostages? Were there any situations like this in Gaza?
I don't personally have connection with Hamas, so I would not know.
I'm not. Well, you clearly have connection with the Western media because you seem very well aware of incidents that happen, but it seems to be like selective choosing of evidence. That's weird. Hamas has been using ambulances to transfer their soldiers from day one of the war. Meaning that they specifically...
Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay, what are you trying to draw from this point? What are you trying to get out of this point?
Just a sec. The fact that Hamas is using hospitals to transfer journalists or soldiers from point A to point B just proves to you that the IDF has seen history of humanitarian vehicles and humanitarian buildings used against their humanitarian purposes. Just like journalists who have been proven to be affiliated with Hamas, it makes them a perfectly legitimate target. Of course, before you have to investigate it before, but yes, it's a war zone. People die in war zones all the time, including journalists.
Okay, let's use that same logic for a different country. When you guys want to kill the higher ups in Iran at the beginning, why don't you just send a drone? Easy peasy, 1 kill, it was over. Before the bombs were sent back and forth, you guys killed a lot of higher ups just with a single drone strike. You didn't need all of this.
You know how long this operation has been planned for?
Which one? The Iran one?
The one with Iran. Do you know?
No, but why can't you use that same planning for Gaza?
Because Gaza is using hospitals. They have a completely different tactic. Hospitals as human shields and schools and mosques.
So Gaza, with the way less military funding than Iran, you need way more planning for Gaza than you do.
Do you know how much
Iran.
funding they got from international communities, including Iran and Qatar? Billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Instead of helping what funding you're talking about when they can't even get food. Like there's dying out of starvation. And you're talking about
there's no
funding.
Starvation in Gaza. Instead of helping,
there's no starvation.
No starvation.
Wow.
Instead of helping the civilians with the billions and billions and billions of dollars in aid, you know what they did? They built terror tunnels. They haven't built a single shelter for the people in Gaza. Why is that? Why is that? Maybe they were planning to get their
civilians. It's going to get bombed if it's built. Either way, probably it's going to get bombed, like how you guys tell them to get out of the zones and then bomb those zones.
If they have shelters, you know what? So they don't have to build them shelters. That's fine. If they care about the civilians, invite them into the tunnels. 700 kilometers of tunnels. Let them in. 2.2 million people can for sure fit.
I still think you're confused. If I'm a terrorist organization, like if I don't care about these people I'm using as shields,
I'm a terrorist organization and I'm trying to maximize civilian casualties to get the world's sympathy, that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you so much. Yes, you're right.
What?
If I'm a terrorist organization and I'm trying to get the world's support towards the Palestinians, I'm going to make sure the most amount of civilians are going to be killed. My soldiers are going to be safe because we're going to go and hide in the tunnels or in hospitals or in buildings that we know the IDF will target because according to international law, Article 19, Geneva Convention, we can target humanitarian buildings if they're used for acts harmful to the enemy. We will do that, but we know that the world will not even care about international law. We know that they will see the babies. We know that they will see the women. We know that they will see it and be on our side. You have proven that this was correct.
So you think their goal? So you think Hamas's goal is to prove that Palestine is good and not to kill Israelis?
I think their goal is to demonize and villainize Israel, and the best way to do so is to get the world support against Israel. That's what I think they're doing, and they're doing it amazingly well. They're masters at it.
So you think this Hamas group with not near as much military power as you guys are doing this mastermind plan? And if that's true, let's say what all you're saying is true. Okay, then why you guys been taking land ever since you guys got settled there in 1948? Why have you been taking land more and more and more?
17 Saudi Arabian terrorists caused the Twin Towers to collapse. 17. So you're telling me that, wow, a much smaller group of people can cause this much damage? Yes. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying
that you guys are incompetent to the point. You guys are saying that the IDF, one of the most funded militaries in the world, are incompetent to the point that a group, Hamas, can completely show how bad you guys are and alter the world.
So you're telling me that the Americans, one of the most strongest countries in the world, could not have seen 9/11 happening? You're telling me that Madrid in Spain, you're telling me that Spain could not have seen the Madrid train bombing that happened with one of the strongest intelligence? You're telling me that the Brits could not have foreseen the 7/7 attacks? You're telling me that? What a stupid argument.
Your point makes absolutely no sense, because after 9/11, what happened? The amount of security was insane. 9/11 was one event that happened in a span of 30 minutes. This has been a war that's been happening for 2 years.
For 2 years, and how many people have died in those 2 years? No one.
And that's not even true. It's been happening for 50 years.
You just said 2 years.
Yeah, the occupation.
No occupation. There's no occupation.
After October 7th is not when it started. If you think October 7th when it started,
I agree.
It proves how brainwashed you've been.
I agree. It did not start on October 7th. It started in the 7th century, 610, with Muhammad. That's when it started.
Yeah, it's insane.
It is, huh? It is insane.
No, it's insane, the brainwash.
The brainwash of the Muslims is insane. You're right.
Completely. I got into completely. I really hope you find help, because it might be too late one day. One day when you realize your life might be over.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. If you'd like to watch more of my stuff, please check out my channel down below. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification button so you can be notified every time I upload new content. If you'd like to support me and the channel financially, you can do that using Buy Me Coffee or Patreon down in the links below. Also, we now have a Discord that you can join down in the link below. And now you can become a YouTube member and enjoy specific YouTube perks. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.